Eldridge, a town forgotten by time, cloaked in perpetual twilight. Towering trees choked the sunlight, casting long, eerie shadows. The air hung heavy with unspoken secrets, a constant chill clinging to the skin. Locals whispered tales of a darkness that seeped from the earth, a darkness with a life of its own. Eldridge wasn't a place you stumbled upon, it drew you in, ensnared you in its unsettling tranquility. Its heart beat to a different rhythm, a slow, deliberate pulse that echoed the encroaching darkness. It was a place where the veil between realities felt thin, where the past lingered like a phantom limb. At the end of Oak Street, shrouded by gnarled branches and overgrown ivy, stood an ancient Victorian mansion. Abandoned for decades, it loomed over the town like a watchful spectre. Locals steered clear, their whispers painting tales of tragedy and despair that clung to its rotting timbers. Mara, a writer seeking solace and inspiration, found herself inexplicably drawn to the dilapidated house. The shadows that haunted its halls mirrored the darkness she carried within, a darkness she hoped to exorcise onto the page. Ignoring the town's warnings, she rented the house, her typewriter the only sound in the suffocating silence. The first few days were unsettlingly quiet. Dust motes danced in the slivers of sunlight that pierced the boarded-up windows. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of decay and something else, something ancient and unknowable. At night, the house creaked and groaned, settling into its foundations. Floorboards whispered beneath her feet, each step a hesitant exploration into the unknown. Shadows danced at the edge of her vision, fleeting glimpses of movement that vanished when she turned her head. The seventh night. A storm raged outside, mirroring the turmoil brewing within the house. Rain lashed against the windows, wind howling like a banshee through the eaves. The electricity flickered, plunging the house into darkness. Then, silence. An oppressive, suffocating silence that pressed down on Mara, stealing her breath. A cold spot settled in the room, a chilling presence that sent shivers down her spine. Fear, primal and consuming, took root in her gut. Section 5. A Dance with Darkness. A shape coalesced from the shadows, a writhing mass of darkness given form. It moved with an unnatural fluidity, slithering towards her like a predator stalking its prey. Terror choked her, her voice trapped in her throat. It circled her, a silent waltz of dread. The air grew frigid, the temperature plummeting with each passing moment. The darkness whispered her name, a sibilant hiss that sent chills down her spine. It was a presence, ancient and malevolent, toying with her, savoring her fear. Section 6. Fading Light. Mara stumbled back, her hand frantically searching for the light switch. A flicker of light, then darkness engulfed her once more. The shape lunged, a suffocating wave of cold and dread. A scream died in her throat. Silence descended once more, heavy and absolute. The storm outside subsided, leaving an eerie calm in its wake. The only sound was the creaking of the old house, a mournful symphony in the dead of night. Section 7. The search begins. Dawn broke over Eldridge, painting the sky with hues of lavender and gold. But the rising sun brought no warmth to Oak Street. Concern for Mara, who always kept to herself, turned to alarm when she didn't answer her door. The townsfolk, their faces etched with a mixture of fear and grim determination, forced their way into the house. The air inside was heavy, thick with an unnatural stillness. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of their own anxious breaths. Section 8. Empty rooms full of fear. The house stood empty, its silence a heavy shroud. Dust-covered furniture and untouched belongings painted a picture of a life abruptly interrupted. Mara was gone, vanished without a trace. They scoured the house, their voices hushed whispers in the unnerving stillness. They searched every nook and cranny, their hearts pounding with a mixture of hope and dread. But the house offered no answers, only more questions, echoing in the silence. Section 9. The darkness remains. Days turned into weeks, then months. The search for Mara yielded nothing. The townsfolk whispered of the darkness that claimed her, of the house on Oak Street that devoured light and life. The house stood as it always had, a looming spectre at the end of Oak Street. But now a palpable fear clung to its decaying facade. The darkness that had always whispered within its walls had grown bolder, its silence a chilling testament to its power. Section 10. Unanswered questions. Did the darkness claim Mara, dragging her down into the shadows, or did she simply escape its clutches, fleeing into the night, forever haunted by the horrors she witnessed? In the heart of Eldridge, shrouded in shadow and silence, the house on Oak Street held its secrets close. The darkness lingered, a constant reminder that some mysteries are better left unsolved, some doors better left unopened.